Hey guys, Matt Allen here. Welcome back to Tactical Bassin. It is late April. What I wanted to talk to you guys about today is what we are really throwing when we're out here on the water. What do I mean by that? I don't mean that we've been lying to you. What I mean by that is I know that when you're sitting back watching a video, you start to wonder, am I really getting the right information? Am I really being told the truth? How do I know if this is what guys are really fishing with? If this is what they're really catching fish with? So I just wrapped up a guide trip. Just dropped my clients off back here in the marina. Idled back out and I thought, an interesting video would just be to let you guys look at what is still laying around the boat at the end of a long day on the water. Our conditions are pre-spawn and spawn. We've got fish on beds, and then we've got fish that are full pre-spawn, making the move in, sitting out on points, sitting out under docks, sitting on break lines. And then, like I said, fish that are actually up sitting on the bed. So without going any further, let's really take a look at what I have tied on at the end of the day. What did we actually use to catch fish today? Because I will tell you, we had an almost 32-pound limit for 5 bass today, and it's not necessarily on the giant baits that you would think. Some of them were. Let's just run right through all the gear that's in the boat. First one is a great big Keitech. Throwing that weedless style. It's a 7.8 Keitech. Trying to get a big bite first thing in the morning. Next one is a jig. Flipping jig. I don't even know what color that's called. I don't know, but down in the video description, I'm gonna link you guys all of this equipment, all of it. All the baits that we use today to be successful and catch big fish. But jig paired with an Archelon trailer, which is something I've talked a lot about for flipping, but not as a jig trailer, and I like it a lot as a jig trailer. Next, that's a Yamamoto Cowboy on a shaky head. That's a bait that I've been playing with a lot for, about a month or so now, and seeing a ton of success. We had one over 5 on that today. Just on that shaky head, you can swim it almost like a biffle head because those legs have so much movement that the fish respond really well to it. Or you can fish it like a shaky head down on bottom. Flip it under docks, flip it in cover, flip it on bed fish. There's a lot of different things you can do with that bait, but it makes a ton of commotion. Last one, spinning rod. Oh, it's up there. Spinning rod was a drop shot. Don't be like me, don't reel your baits up to the tip of the rod. But that's a little Reaction Innovations bait, little morning dawn type color. I'll look it up for you, tell you exactly what it is, but we were using it for sight fishing. That bright pink, we could see it down on the nest, caught a ton of nice fish on that. We're also throwing it in white, as well as this little guy, 2.8 Keitech in white. They were eating all that stuff. My step, get my net out of the way. My step, you'll recognize that bait. That little storm swim bait we talked about in the cheap baits video with the tail chewed clean off of it. This is what we caught our biggest bass on today. Chris caught one almost 12 pounds, 11.72 pounds on the Matt Lures bluegill. Pretty awesome. A Huddleston, again, trying to get a big pre-spawn bite this morning. And I should mention, guys, here we are on Clearlake. There are no trout in this lake, but we throw trout colors because it doesn't matter whether you're on a trout lake or not. Bass like a big, slow-moving bait, and they will take a shot at it. Next, a casting jig. Flipping around docks as we were covering water. I'm up on the front of the boat looking for sight fish, but we're also just fishing. So throwing a jig around the pilings, covering water is a great way to just pick fish off. You can be really thorough really quickly. What else? Well, half shell, man bear pig, and a little Keitech, a little 3.8 Keitech. All baits used for covering water and being thorough as we were going along cover. Down here, jerkbaits. Caught a ton of jerkbait fish today, and it was a mix. Some of them were just blind jerkbait fish. Some of them we found a bait ball where they were just blasting shad. Both of these are a flash pointer. one of my favorites. The small one is a Flash Pointer 100, an American shad. The big one is a Flash Pointer 115, and I cannot remember what that color is called, like Pro Blue or something like that. Again, I'll look it up for you. But caught a ton of jerkbait fish. And then last is the popper, which did not work today. There he is. To splash it, did not work today, but when I saw those fish blowing up on bait, you have to try. You know what, let's look at my locker too. Let's see what we got. These are completely packed with tackle. We won't even bother, it's a disaster. You guys think we throw Kitex much? Seriously, Kitex and Rage Swimmers, tons of them. But we'll just focus on what we have tied on, what we're actually fishing with. In here, we have LV 500 Ghost Minnow, 6-inch Senko, Texas rigged, blank rods down below, nothing there. That's got nothing on it. A-rig, a bladed A-rig, of course, all spring long, have to have it. Nothing on that, nothing on that. And a S-Waver 168. Again, that's a light trout S-Waver. Actually, that's a rainbow trout S-Waver in a lake where there are no trout. Guys, I want you to think outside of the box this spring. Don't get caught up in what the people around you are fishing with. I have no clue what everyone else is doing on this lake today, and it doesn't matter. We come out on the water with a plan, but you know, I wanted to sight fish today. I wanted to throw a jerkbait, but we had 10+ mile-an-hour wind. That really complicates things. So you just roll with the punches. Every day is different. You adapt, stick with baits you have confidence in though. When we start getting that heavy wind blowing through and we can't see, no problem. We go to that jig, we go to that shaky head, we go to the Senko, to the drop shot. We start reaching up under those docks, around the tules. Tules, it's like bulrushes. We've got them out here on the West Coast. Flipping around the grass edges. Just being thorough where there should be fish. It's not about having to see them. Forget having to see them. I don't care if you can see a bedfish or not. You know where they should be. They should be on the key pieces of cover, at the bases of pilings. If you take your time, stick with baits you have confidence in, or trust the baits that we have confidence in, the baits that we've been talking to you guys about for months, and here we are at the end of an 8-hour day on the water, and they're literally the exact baits that I have tied on. We throw the things that we teach you guys because they work. We don't hold anything back. You guys can catch these big bass. You may not have 11 pounders where you live. You may have 3 pounders or 4 pounders or 8 pounders or 15 pounders. It doesn't matter. The techniques work, the baits work. You can catch bigger fish this spring. You can. Take those key baits, the baits that you have the most confidence in, and be thorough with your fishing style. Don't get caught up on sitting in one place, and don't get stuck doing the same thing over and over again. If you go to run a pattern and it's not there, don't sit there all day. Stay with your confidence, but think through where those fish went. Or if your conditions change like mine where the wind starts blowing, how do you adapt? How do you change your approach so that you can still reach your same fish with a different presentation? You know, you saw that little Kitech tied on, and that's a little one. That's on that Dirty Jigs guppy head. That's not even on a Matt Allen head. We're throwing that shallow jerkbait, but when the wind, the fish started dropping down, the bait fish got scattered. You can drop down with that little swim bait, slow roll right down along the bottom. It's the same fish. They still want to eat shad. They're just not up in 2 to 5 feet of water anymore. They're down in 5 to 15 feet of water. We're able to slow roll down through there, pick up those same exact fish. Just takes a little bit of adaptation. You guys can do this. It's not complicated. I know that I'm blessed to live on an amazing fishery and do this for a living, guiding and chasing big bass around. But that doesn't matter, because when we go everywhere else in the country, it's the same thing. We fish our confidence, we fish thoroughly, but don't get stuck in a rut. Don't just do the same thing over and over again. Mix it up, fish your confidence, and it works everywhere. I hope that helps you guys. It should. If you don't have confidence, take a look at the baits that we really are throwing. See if you can apply them to your style of fishing. They're not necessarily the best baits in the world, but I'm telling you, they work, and we are always looking for new things. Tim and I are tackle junkies, man. We borderline have a problem. So as new things come out, I mean, take that Yamamoto Cowboy. That thing just came out. I've already got a ton of confidence in it because I do try new things. And luckily, I try new things, Tim tries new things, so you guys don't always have to. We go out and try and find the winners for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Very different format. We're not out fishing. I'm not holding a bunch of baits up to the camera for you, but I wanted you to know we really are doing the things that we're telling you, and they are working. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications so you know when new videos come out. If you enjoyed the video, let us know down in the comments. We'll do more of this style of stuff. We'll talk to you soon.